DTLR Radio, your fashion, your lifestyle. Jay Claxton, Cameron Trimble, Hip Politics is here in the studio right now. And we're just chopping it up, man, about what's going on in politics. Because, like I said, man, I really feel like, this generation is not necessarily interested in politics. And I'm just trying to figure out how we can make them, more interested and know that, their thought and their vote matters.
I think that comes with the leadership, and that comes in putting leaders in place that inspire that. Like, we've always been a political people. We've had to fight for our rights from the Civil War.
That's true.
Civil rights. Like, in those movements, what a lot of people don't like, you see the John Lewises of the world, you see Al Sharpton and the Jesse Jacksons of the world now, but they really got their start when they were in their 20s. I mean, Martin Luther King was a 22-year-old, 23-year-old. I mean, he was assassinated at 39. He did all those things in his 20s and 30s.
Right.
I mean, Congressman John Lewis, when he crossed that bridge, he was part of SNCC. Like, he was a 22, 23-year-old man. So we've always been politically inclined for the younger generation. We just haven't had that same type of leadership. But I think when you have an Obama, I'm dare to say I'm a product of that. Like, I quit my job to go work for the first Obama campaign for a third of what I was making, just because I was inspired by the man of who he was and what he represented. And it's like, he made me see that I could get into the game. I want to be that same kind of inspiration. You got a lot of, even who we were talking about in the last time, in Cory Booker, he was a mayor among the people. I guarantee there's going to be a whole nother wave of people who now want to get involved in their community. And that doesn't mean you'd have to run for office. You just might want to organize around, hey, fix the streets, fix our streets. You know what I mean? Right. Potholes in our streets, community policing.
Because that's part of it too. You vote on stuff like that, on money to, be allocated to fix the streets.
To fix your schools, yes. Right. You vote on the people who vote on those things.
Okay.
And you vote on every system and law that matters and is affecting your day-to-day life.
Right.
You vote on people who make those decisions. And those people are accountable to you. It might not feel like it, and they try to disenfranchise you and try to trick you out of the power we have. But when we organize, whether it's we as young people, whether we as Black people, Latino people, and what I'm here for, whether we as hip-hop, if hip-hop organizes and there's a list of demands and we can say, hey, we can make sure all these people around the country in different places vote a certain way,
right.
That's how you get that power. That's why Obama was smart enough to, like I said, when he had his hip hop caucus summit at the White House, he knows it's because these people speak. Rick Ross got millions of followers, not just on Instagram, but he touches 10,000 people a day every time he steps out the house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got people in hip hop who are really talking to the people, and they're playing their music, but they also can get messages across.
So real quick, before we wrap up,
mm-hmm.
How do we get artists to even accept that role and talk about it in the music and talk about it, when they're on a platform to talk about it? Like, how do we get them to do that? Like, we got plenty of artists that have a big following. You know what I'm saying? You look at, the Baby, you look at Lil Baby, you look at all of these, Megan Thee Stallion, you look at all of these new artists that are really moving, NBA YoungBoys, that sort of thing that the streets really listen to. But how can we get them to have a conversation so that their followers, their young followers that matter, will jump in and try to make a difference? You understand what I'm saying?
I totally feel you. I would say education and inclusion. Education in the sense that artists are not here to be politicians, even though that's something that, or they're not here to necessarily be that, but that is something that can come with that platform, and with to whom much is given, much is expected, and much is needed. We got to educate the artists, and that's what we're trying to do over here. Politics, that's what a lot of people are trying to do in terms of educate them on the issues so when they're going out there and they're speaking from a place of knowledge and authority and reassurance, right. And knowing that. And then I say inclusion in the fact that people got to bring them to the table. If there's certain issues at hand, or you have an issue you're trying to get out, you don't just like, hey, here, I'm gonna pay you some money to go talk about it. It's like, no, what are some things you out in the streets? Like they're some of the best reporters, because like I said, they see and touch markets all around the country, all around the globe, and they're seeing it. Their fans are reflecting to them every day. They get tens of thousands of feedback on their posts and so forth. They're a great microphone for the streets. And to your last point about how do we get them to make it cool, it's not going to be everybody's bag. But it does naturally come across in the music. I mean, people are rapping about. I mean, you got Donald Trump came out with YG and Nipsey before Donald Trump is elected. Everybody does, and they're the hardest. Gangster rappers. People not confusing them for Kendrick Lamar or J. Cole, but they're able to put messages in their music. And Megan Thee Stallion, when you start talking about new stuff, they can find issues that they care about. Megan Thee Stallion. She's in politics, even though she's not talking about politicians. You know what she was doing? She's about the environment. She's having her hottie cleanup day. If you see her on Instagram, she'll send women across like, "Hey, we're cleaning up this beach. We're cleaning up these parks." That's politics. Right. That's organizing people to help better our community in the way that matters to her.
Because she's definitely in school and she talks about that as well.
And then her education, yes, like it's not politics. It doesn't have to be a dirty word. It is about organizing. Politics is organizing people around issues that we are trying to change, around change. So that's what quote unquote politic, and it's getting a lot of people to agree with your side, and then how are we going to do something about it? That's all it is. That's what, if I'm running for office, I'm trying to get enough people to agree and want to vote for me over the next person because of my ideas and what they believe in me.
How can they follow you?
They can follow me, follow the podcast at Hill Politics Podcast on Instagram. You can follow me, Mr. Cameron Calvin, MrCameron Calvin, on all platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Dropping stories, knowledge. I'm always trying to put out, trying to put you to stories that you should be reading, because there's so much junk you got to sift through. Or you can just go one-stop shop, hitpolitics.org. Please, follow us. We appreciate it. You're gonna see some more things in the future. We got news updates every day. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate the conversation. Make sure you guys go out and register to vote. Make sure you fill out your census form. They're trying to not count us. They're trying to not put that money back into our community, but we got to show up. You got to register to vote to let you know they're here. You got to put your name on the census to let they know I live here. This is who I am, and you have to account for me.
Okay, got you, man. Cameron Trimble, Hip Politics, man. Right here. I appreciate it. I love the love.
Thank you.
When you hear this music, man, that means that I'm at the end of another Franchise Movement show. So continue to be fashionable, because detail all your fashion, your lifestyle. Continue to get money, because that's what we need to survive. And get somebody a hug, let them know you love them. We need more love in the world. I guarantee it. I will see you tomorrow on Friday at Mix 3 Times. We're gonna have it's gonna be a party on your radio. I promise. My man King Flexer will be at the Christiana Mall tomorrow afternoon.